So did you work today?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
I was for a bit of extra money. I'm working on a Christmas market,
Oh, really?
and
I
I
did.
keep getting these
Huh.
witches and wizards coming to visit me.
What?
Yeah, it's wild.
Okay. Hang on. We can start with that. Lisa Marie. Boom. Lisa Marie. Hang on. Let me adjust my mic. I was rehearsing. Test, 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 test. Just tell me if I get too loud. So, yeah, here we are, man. God, it's been a hell of a what? Hell of a life. Hell of a week. Yesterday was crazy. Was the 22nd crazy for you?
Uh, no, it hasn't been too crazy for me. It's been kind of magical, but not too. When you say crazy, how's it been crazy?
Oh, I think I purged for 72 hours. I
Did you
cried.
really?
I cried like a baby. I went on a show, my friend's show, and I don't know, just like my whole being just cracked wide open, and
Mm,
I don't even know. I just know energetically, like I'm on the
yeah,
other. I feel like I'm on the other side. I feel like we're all on the other side in a
yeah,
certain way. But you
yeah,
said that you're making some extra money working at a Christmas store, and you're running into a lot of wizards and witches.
yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Literally, like I met this lady today, and she came over. She was just asking general questions, and she pulled out her notebook out of her bag, and it was this big, beautiful bound leather notebook with a big picture of the Mona Lisa in the center.
Uh huh.
And she handed it to me to look at, and I thought, oh, okay, something's happening here. And as she did that, her phone rang, and the heavens opened. It was just like this really heavy, like really downward rainfall
Wow.
for like a minute, only a minute. And I was like, something. You just get a sense when you're around someone a bit unique. And then she said she's a writer and she's written a book on quantum, some kind of quantum physics. And then the
Wow.
conversation quickly turned to the quantum, which was amazing.
Really?
I'm just meeting more and more people like us, like in real time, like on the streets now.
Really?
Mm.
So, did you learn anything about quantum healing or quantum whatever?
No, we're going to meet for coffee.
Oh,
She calls herself the energy wizard. Yeah, so we're going to
well,
meet for coffee
the
maybe next
energy.
week.
She calls you
Mm.
the energy wizard?
Her.
Oh, okay. I got you.
So he basically, she's been doing this for like 14 years, and like big companies pay her, that are companies that are not doing so great, they pay her to go in and fix the energy of whatever's going on.
Are you serious?
Mm. Yeah, I couldn't
Wow.
believe it. It's like, what, people actually pay you to do like
It's
like
a
in that
new.
world,
It's a new Earth vocation.
right? Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, it was very cool to hear about that.
it's kind of like a multi-dimensional feng shui,
Right.
a more multi-dimensional.
Yeah.
So yeah, wow, lots happened since last time we talked on here.
Mm. Yeah, I saw your post this, was it yesterday you put out, you think
Mm-hmm.
the flash.
You back?
Oh yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. Uh, what post? I put up like three or four.
Oh, like the one where you said you feel like the flash
Yeah,
happened.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
I mean, I was just speaking in the moment, and I still feel that way. I really do.
Hmm.
I can't explain it, and I can't prove it. It's just my own truth. But I
Mm.
purged for 3 days, and I got incredible third eye expansions, incredible code, incredible information, incredible everything. And my body took a beating, but it was all cool. It was all purging, and I'm good
Hmm.
today. And I pulled an all nighter. As you can tell, I'm a little tongue twisted, but I I worked through the night.
Did
And
you?
so,
You were just wired.
no, I was just doing stuff. It just all in the flow. It just kind of happened.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up. What did I do? I ran a 3.5 hour Soulogy remix with all different types of music and excerpts from the talk show and segments from shows, and then I brushed my teeth and I lay down here in the studio because I wanted to get up early and I connected with Morgan, and then I participated in one of her groups, which was pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
It was very cool. I hadn't done one in a while, and then by the time we got done talking, it was 5 in the morning. So I thought I'll just keep working.
Mm.
So I worked till about 8, and then I slept till about 9:30. And
Mm.
here
You
we
still doing
are.
shows every day?
Hmm.
You still doing shows every day?
I'm trying to. I have
Mm.
3 today, but the middle one canceled. We're going to reschedule. The Powers of
Mm-hmm.
Love, and Laura Mitchell from Queensland. She's a musician. She's cool. She's going to come on like in 3 hours. Maybe we'll do an open mic. So tell me what's going on with you. People don't want to know what's going on with me.
It's just really, really, really calm and lovely.
Wow, cool.
Really calm, really lovely. Everything's flowing. I'm I've just moved to I moved to a new cabin. So I was literally dreaming in my perfect home and it's just materialized like 2 months ago. This cabin in the trees with a natural spring flowing right underneath it, which is
Really?
incredible. Yeah. Um, and then I make and sell candles, so I'm selling them in the local town. And through this, I'm just connecting to probably a bit like you. Are you still in Sedona?
Uh huh.
Yeah, just connecting to loads of local artists and creatives and all of these people that are doing some really, really, really cool stuff. It's just really nice, having been in Hermitage for so long, it's really nice to be out again.
Well, we all got to come out and play.
Yeah, yeah, and it feels like that's happening now, isn't it?
So, since this summer, there was a lot of fluctuations with people energetically. There was a lot of things happening, you
Mm.
know, a lot of, just wild energy. Did you experience any of that? Did you have a pretty cool summer?
Yeah, yeah. Well, mine fluctuated a few years ago, and it was
Mm,
very, very, very up and down, up and down, up and down for a few years.
mm.
And since, yeah, I'd say since last summer, it's been good and consistently good, calm.
That's cool.
But we'll go through these things at different points. Yeah, often we find that there are some of us that are all moving through the same stuff at the same time.
Yeah,
But that's everyone.
that's true. That's true. We don't, I would say, there's a lot of different forecasts out there. And I think they all apply,
Mm.
except for the solar flash. That one didn't come too many times. But,
Uh-huh.
but yeah, there's different, paths. There's different, like there's masculine, there's
Mm.
feminine, and there's just different makeup. So I could see where there might be like 8 or 10 of them, like linear
Mhm.
timelines that apply. And so you might shift something before I do, and vice versa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But it seems
Yeah.
like, go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry, go on.
No, you go.
Oh no, I sort of keep an eye on what people are sharing, and a lot of it that I read, I go, aha, that was what I was,
Right,
moving through a few years back.
right.
Um, so I've no idea. I've no idea quite what I'm doing or who I am yet.
Are you happy?
Very,
That's
yeah. You know
that's
what? For
really
the first time in years, I'm really enjoying human.
really.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
you were out of your body a lot, weren't you?
a lot. Yeah,
So you're
yeah,
enjoying being the human now.
yeah. I'm loving the human. And it's a very, very special experience when you can really flow into it.
Are you running into many people? Oh, you're going out more now, so you're
Mm.
selling the candles and whatever else you said. You're seeing more people that I guess are like us. Are
Yeah.
you? I guess that means you're seeing less people that are still maybe say in the I don't want to say lower vibrations, but vibrations of projection and codependence.
I don't have any in my immediate
Mm,
field. I'll encounter people that will share their experiences, but I don't have any in my immediate field.
that's
I've
cool.
been very, very selective. I am very selective of who I spend my time with.
Mm.
Um, yeah.
Do you ever like run into a situation like when you're out and somebody like maybe a store clerk or You know, somebody you just run into that's just like goes off on you?
No,
No?
again, I think I went through all that a few years
Mm.
back. Where yeah, I had a period of a few years where it seemed like I had all the shit and chaos reflected back. Yeah,
Mm.
but now, oh my God, it's a lot. It's getting more and more and more loving, more and more loving.
When when we talked before, weren't you getting into something? Weren't you doing something like, or am I getting you mixed up with someone else? Not was it with trees? It wasn't with trees, was it?
Yeah, well, I'm doing my candles, but I also like I had an encounter. Do you mean about the yew tree? When I had an encounter with this yew tree in Scotland that told me to um, put together these ritual bathing kits to help people to connect in more with the elements, the earth, the water, and work consciously with water. So yeah, I'm doing that as well as the candles.
So
Is it?
the tree guided you to
Yeah,
create a recipe for baths. The
yeah,
baths and the baths would connect the person more with the elementals. Is that right?
yeah. Well, it's so you know about most of us know about Emoto, Masaro.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's all of that. So it's the tree gave me it's ritual bathing is a really ancient practice.
Mm.
Um, and so it's coming back, and so this is what I'm putting out there on
Wow.
instruction from this tree. Um, and so you basically, yeah, you work. Each ritual comes with a full ritual to follow, and crystals, but like different flowers, things from the earth, and a playlist, a curated playlist. So it completely transforms. So it realigns you from the inside out. And not only that, it restructures your bath water. So then that then goes back into the water system and
So
affect.
so it's accompanied with a playlist. Is
Yeah,
the playlist the same for everybody?
it depends which ritual they feel drawn to.
Okay, so there's like a series of rituals.
Yeah, I have about four at the moment. Yeah.
And are each one of them, I mean, do they have like a description, each one of them, like a name?
Yeah, yeah. So we have a self love, we have an empowerment, we have one for grief, one note is a rebirth. So I find at the moment everyone's going for the self love, which is great.
Mm.
It's definitely needed.
And
You know, it's very
how do you come up with the music? Did the tree guide you on that, or was it intuitive?
how did I come up with it? So this was when I was living on my own in Scotland, um, and just yeah, following guidance, being guided to certain music. So I just use Spotify, which is great.
Okay.
I'm just guided to a particular song, and then I literally spent months listening to specific kind of music. So, you know, Krishna Das, to give you an example, it's really beautiful.
Mm.
A lot of mantras,
Mm.
um, and then I just kind of feel into it, and I get a yes or a no for which ones to go in, and then I just put it together that way.
Yeah, like a pendulum. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was just talking to Ty this morning, and he does, you know, a
Mm,
lot of stuff with music. He's actually I don't know what you call it, a music. I mean, he graduated from college music, but it's a specialty, like
right.
almost like the science of music. Anyway, over the
Yeah.
years with his studies and everything. But anyway,
Uh-huh.
he does advanced sound healing, and it's all based on harmonics.
Yeah.
And about 15 years ago, him and another guy spent some time running the different sounds like do, re, mi, fa, you know, whatever, A, B, C, D,
Mhm.
through the human body, figuring out where it resonated in the human body and
Uh-huh.
how it can actually bring calibration.
Yeah.
You know, I don't explain it very well, but I really feel like sound,
Yeah.
especially intentional sound, especially if the body itself does have harmonics. And,
Mm.
you know, Eric Rankin talks about it. Many people talk about it. Um,
Mm.
that's going to be something that I think will be one of the first things maybe that falls through disclosure. Like, in other words, they've been trying to hide it or whatever you want to say, however you want to say it, and it'll be a very easy fix for people.
Mm. Yeah, well, we'll know about the music industry, and how so the sound that's being put out in the mainstream music industry is basically it's messing with our biology.
Yeah. Up
Mm.
until now, because we've become too consciously aware of our God
Mm.
creator power. That means we ain't fucking around no more. You
People are
know,
not fucking around no more.
I'm not. Hell with that. But
Yeah.
but yeah, sometimes when I think about that, like sound, like even what I learned this morning, which
Mm.
I'm gonna get him to explain it because I think it's pretty important.
Mm.
I think there's people that are doing it. I've never seen anyone do what he's doing because I think a lot of times when people do sound healing, it's a lot of pretty sounds. But this
Mm.
actually takes into consideration, like you might say, dark and light,
Yeah.
contrast,
Mm.
because that's what we contain. And
Mm.
it's pretty interesting. But I really feel like that something that simple, or maybe some type of self healing or crystal healing, but something really simple will really soften the edge on this ride. Things like that.
I think that's why I've been given this to get it out there
Mm.
now, because it basically a lot of people just go, "Oh, it's a pretty bath kit, this will make a perfect gift for my mom or whatever," not realizing the full extent of what it is.
Mm.
And then I get an email from them saying, "Oh my God, Lisa, like I was in floods of tears doing this, like just all of
Wow.
this emotion that they had not dealt with in 20 years," as this one lady, yeah, all coming out. It's really powerful.
Mm.
Because the tree said to me, she gave it to me, and then she said, "Don't worry about how it's going to work. Just get it out there, make it happen, and we'll deal with the rest." So,
Do 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 trees need any help to grow?
grow.
When you plant a tree,
Hmm. What do
nothing,
you mean?
nothing, nothing. You don't get it.
Oh, do you?
Huh?
Yeah,
No, I'm
the
kidding.
seed.
We don't need to get
No,
into that. We don't
no,
need to get into that. We need to
no. It was
maintain.
funny that popped into my mind, and as I was driving back from the market, and I was
Yeah.
like, "No, no, this is not needed."
Mm.
No,
Inside
they know
joke,
a lot
people.
more than we do. Mm.
So you got in your house what? You and your partner, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No,
It's really amazing,
no
amazing place.
kids, no kids, no dogs, cats, fish.
Oh, yeah. Well, Dan has two.
Oh yeah.
Really gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. But we only have them every other weekend. We have a cat, and we did have a hamster up until 3 days ago. So that little fella just cracked me open.
He did really. See, you have
Yeah,
been going through some stuff.
yeah. Well, I suppose, yeah, yeah. So yeah, 3 days ago I was in floods of tears. Mm.
I was in floods of tears for 3 straight days.
Oh,
If I wasn't crying, I was sweat was pouring out of my body, or I was had the chills, or my throat, or
really?
my head was pounding. It was
Oh,
all. But I saw a lot of people. I put up that
yeah.
post, that one you're talking about. A lot of people talked about physical, which I didn't even
Mm.
mention. I just said
I
I think the solar flash came.
Maybe I have a really sore for the past few days. I've had a really sore tongue. I don't know
Mm.
if anybody else has that. It almost feels like it's been burnt, but I haven't burnt it. You've not had that. It's hard to keep up though, isn't it? There's so many different.
That's
I
what I
just I
said.
don't pay attention to.
Yeah, that's what I said the other day. It's like Groundhog Day. I
Yeah,
mean, I
yeah,
mean, I'm not trying to diminish the days, but the reality is, it's kind of a game of it's a game of expansion and
mm,
stop buying your bullshit kind of thing. I mean, like,
yeah,
in other words, you can kind of see how, and I think a lot of people are doing it. You're doing it. Most of the people here, I believe, are doing it. The
mm,
frequencies that they encounter throughout their day are softer. There's not
yeah,
as many hard edges. It's,
Hmm.
if it fluctuates, it's not, like a roller coaster. I mean, I can't say that the 3 days I'm talking about that I just went through, I believe that was a choice I made, and that's the way I prefer to do it.
Hmm.
So I don't really consider that to be, like, being handcuffed and ankle cuffed and driven, getting a free ride to Houston, Texas for 8 hours. I didn't consider that
Mm.
discomfort, because I know that I had chosen that in some way. And there's a multidimensionality understanding that we're all
Yeah.
coming into as well. So I think that's part of the reason we're having more fluid experiences, because our perspective has been influenced by our multidimensionality, and we're chilling out. Dude, you know what I mean?
You've not been arrested again, have you?
No.
All right.
And that was a fluke, just so everybody knows. That was a fluke. I don't need to explain it. I don't even care.
No.
But no, no, no. That's not on my agenda.
Good.
That's not on my
Good.
agenda. But I don't do
It's
any.
funny. It's funny. Very often with you, I feel this mother energy coming through me, and I'm like, I just like, I keep what you know. I keep saying like, please rest, please rest.
I, yeah. Well, that didn't surprise me.
Mm.
And I saw the mother energy again. I think it was 2 nights ago, or maybe it was over the 2 or 3 days. But I hadn't seen it or felt it in like 2 months since the last time I was here. But I feel like that, like what you're saying and what I have been exposed to and what other people have talked about, and even all the pink magenta clouds all around the world yesterday. That was
Mm.
crazy. I feel like
Mm.
the feminine energy has really, come into a point where, you can see the balance for me, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And in fact,
Yeah.
it's crazy because I went to my friend's house to get through the last part of the purging, and I went to bed about 9. I woke up at 1 p.m. But I was up and down, up and down, up and down. It was a whole multi-dimensional experience, and I heard they painted a bunch of chemtrails in the sky, and I mean they covered the skies. They turned a blue sky totally like overcast, but
You still see it?
you could see all the lines. Now this was yesterday, the 22nd.
Mm.
And
Mm.
then as I'm driving up, I heard you're going to see or it was before I left actually, you're going to see the pink and the blue, the new pinks and the new blues come through the chemtrails. And so when I
Yeah.
got to the top of the hill where the main part of Sedona is, I'm driving, I look out the window and you can see all this, like 3 or 4 shades of this magenta pink and this 3 or 4 shades of this off-planet blue, and they were
Wow.
all mixing together. And I'm like, I got to pull over and take a picture. But it was like it was just shown to me for a second, and then I got out,
Mm.
and by the time I got out, the colors were
Gone.
leaving. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
you'll see that more and more. I've been seeing that for a few years, well,
yeah,
and I'm sure a lot of people. Yeah, probably about 3, 4 years now. 2017 it began for me. So a lot of people take these pictures of the light, and you see all these very soft,
yes.
kind of pastely,
Hmm.
gorgeous colors. Yeah, I see them in the trees and the sky.
Well,
Not all the time, but yeah, quite often.
well, I think more people are talking about they're seeing things one way or the other.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
know, more of that's kind of creeping in, seeping in,
Yeah.
or our vision's getting more expansive, I guess.
Is it? But I've got glasses now.
I'm not talking about the 3D vision. I can't see it all. And
Maybe that's why that eyesight is going.
and that's another thing about yesterday, the 22nd. That was, what was it? In your country, it's most of the world, it's what? 22/11/22.
Mm.
So that, but when I was coming up, when I left my friend's place, coming up to the main part of Sedona, everything looked like the mountains looked like they were breathing. Like if you've ever done mushrooms, they were like
Yeah.
kind of breathing, and they had like this, animation to it. Not moving, but there was just like this life. There was a life
Life.
aspect to it, like a living organism aspect to it,
Mm.
and that was pretty trippy. And the thing was, like, my vision was like triple blurred. It was like triple vision.
Wow. Yeah.
Not when I looked at the mountains, but when I was driving down the road. I'm like,
Mm.
so I don't know. Maybe we jumped about 15 timelines or something.
God, I have no clue. Honestly, Todd, I've got no clue. Well, like how many different timelines we're jumping, how many I think we definitely are experiencing many in a moment at
Yeah,
times now.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
literally can't believe how many people that come to me in my stall now, and it's just the instant, like it's like we are connecting on a whole new level,
Really.
whole new level. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just there's a lot more. You can see the ones that are not switched on, but the ones that are, oh my God, this I'm just seeing more than ever before, way more. And there's just so much love, and you feel it when you have these. My whole when I do connect to these ones, my whole body starts vibrating. It feels like I've been plugged in
When you're
to the
around these
elect.
people, when you're around these
Yeah,
people,
yeah,
yeah, that's crazy too. Because as I was coming from my friend's apartment, came up to Sedona, saw all that stuff. I went to the convenience store,
hmm,
and I had, I forget what it was. I had, let's say it was $20. I think that's what it was. I had $20 cash and a pocket full of change. And I went in and got some water, and I got this and I got that. And I calculated it in my head. But I think one of the things didn't have it was a bag of chips, and it didn't have a price on it. But I figured it was whatever, maybe $2. So I get up there, and she, she rings it all up, and it's like 21.85. And
mm.
it's a lady I see all the time, and she's very talkative, and she's funny, almost quirky and weird, right? By the time I left, I realized she was a shaman because
Mm.
she had this whole thing going on, and she was like, hey, what's happening? She was messing with me, but it was really high level. I said,
Yeah,
how much are these chips? She rings it all up. It's 21.85. I said, oh, let's take the water away. She goes, no, 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 no. What do you want to do that for? Because I said, all I got's 20. She goes, let's see how much change you have. Because I looked at my change and it didn't look like enough. So we put it on the counter, and she goes, don't worry about it. She's narrating it the whole time. And she's like counting it out. And do you know it was
yeah,
exactly 21.85? And she's just like telling me, you
yeah,
see, you don't worry about it. You got it. And I'm walking out of there.
yeah.
I'm walking out of there after 3 days of purging and all these multidimensional experiences, and you know, and
Um,
I'm thinking this is how, and that's what reminded me because I had that vibration, like I was
yeah,
like
you can feel
buzzing,
it.
and I was like,
Yeah, you're
so
connecting to someone
this is how it's
special.
going to be. It was hilarious, but it was
Yeah.
profound at the same time, and it was very
Well,
validating too.
mm, it is. You've just now reminded me of something that happened yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
There was a man that came to the store, and he was being very, very chatty, and I just kept it simple because I wasn't sure if he was being a little too familiar. But then he started really looking into me,
Mm-hmm.
like staring into my soul, which made me a little uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But I realized he was passing information. He started talking about Bermuda. He's from Bermuda.
Wow.
And there's only 2 days ago there was someone shared something about the stars are under the ocean and they're turning on or something. And straight away I was shown that the work that I was doing a few years ago with the whales at the Bermuda Triangle and the Azores near Portugal,
Hmm.
we were opening portals or something there. This is connected to that. So something is coming from the ocean, something with the whales. I know there's many that listen to your show that know a lot more about this than I do. I just get taken off by my whale and shown these places and going, right, we're going here now. But yeah, there's something definitely going on in the oceans. I think Judith Kusel may have mentioned something to do with this.
When she was on the show.
Um, I can't remember. I
Yeah,
can't remember.
I have heard people talking about it, and there
Mm,
has been some stuff going on, and we've known for years that there's hell, the oceans is as deep as space, and
yeah.
but it's weird because part of this thing I went through these 3 days, there was this one thing where I went into the ocean, right? And it was like, I have memories way back, I mean, like of what I call, I don't know what they're called, but I call them the people of the deep blue. And so I'm go down in, I'm swimming, and I get to a lake at the bottom of the ocean. So there's a body of water beneath the ocean. So as I go into to go into the lake, it's more dense, and I kind of like bounce, get repelled off, and then I had to like kind of guess remember or merge or whatever. Then I went into the lake, but I don't remember what happened after that.
Who are the people of the deep? Who are these?
I don't know. I think I don't know if they're. I mean, to me, this I haven't really. Like when I first reawoke, I'd say like for a couple of years that it was around. It was like I guess like a memory, like I guess or a connection or whatever. I don't know, but I could remember going into many times. Even as a kid, because it all came back. Swimming into like not like cities we have here, but just in an environment in the ocean. It was very blue like this, and the people had a certain frequency, like I guess like dolphins, like whales, but different, almost maybe elementalish, and I remember there was a connection to. I'm not sure now, but what planets, but I think maybe it was Sirius or maybe it was, but it was all blue. Everything was blue.
Sirius B.
No, not Sirius B,
No.
man. What do you feel about Sirius B?
Oh, I don't know. I just wondered if I thought that it wasn't. Isn't that meant to be the water one?
I don't know. I don't know because I've never looked into it. I'm not a good light worker, but what I do know, or at least what I do remember, is Sirius A was cool. Sirius A was the hub, and Sirius B, there was some bullshit going down.
Oh, really? Okay.
That's what I remember.
I don't know that. I don't know that.
I think
What,
that's
what about, did you ever see any crystal pyramids when you were down there?
no.
Okay.
I mean, I probably not. I don't know. No, I don't think so. I don't remember. I know I've like doing sessions with Morgan when we connect. There was a lot of pyramid stuff when in like 2015 and even now and then, and I'm sure with other instances. Oh yeah, I can remember some other instances like at the Soulogy Fest in Sedona last year. We had some pretty powerful, more than it was like 3 or 4 or 5 of us had like a pyramid experience when we were inside the teepee, and it was an off-planet pyramid and it was blue. I just remember that.
Wow. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. It'd be interesting if you say off planet, it could have been underwater.
True. That's true. And see, my first memories when I first reawoke was nothing but inner earth tunnels.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like every night, and then it went on for like maybe another 3 or 4 or 5 years, but not as frequently. I think it's just all code, or our recollection of us. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't really think about it.
Yeah, I used to, I'm sure like most of us do, when we first wake up, we start digging and digging and digging for answers and reading everything we can and watching everything we can, and absorbing everything we can. And now I'm at the stage where, if it's when it's going to come, it'll come.
Yeah.
Literally through me, not from an outside. Or like we have these chats like you and I are having, and something will trigger a memory.
Yeah. Trigger. Trigger/activation. We need to start. We need to change. We need to come up with a word that contains both. We need to start creating words that combine polarities, so we can 0 point the word itself. For me, I'm just like, I realize there's a lot of stuff going on, and I'm just trying to simplify. I always try to keep it simple, but that's not so easy in this transition we call ascension. But the thing that I've really come down to, and I wrote about it yesterday, was I guess making peace or merging with every one of my emotions without
Mm.
stories, so that the
Yeah.
stories go away.
Mm.
And this was kind of a download too, and I did write about it, which was basically that when the human being merges with its emotions, it's kind of like it's offering like universal human being experience to the soul, and then the spirit's on the other side. It's like a trinity. It like I guess it conceives the or seeds the trinity. That's what I got, and again, that's just my thing that came in for myself. But it makes sense to me.
Yeah. And so when you were purging all the emotions for the past 3 days,
Hmm.
were they linked to anything, or it was just
Well,
sheer
that
movement?
was the point. The search is over because
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
what I got was the ego is not the emotions. The ego
Mm.
is the unbridled emotions and the projections that come from those unbridled emotions. So if I can just go to the emotion and like say something happens and we get in a fight or whatever and I get angry and we get off the phone and I say to myself, whatever I need to say to myself, the story is the story is the story is the story, and then I just say, okay, I'm just going to feel the anger, and I just feel the anger
Yeah.
until I can own it. That's why anger doesn't come up so much for me. It's I would say
Mm.
probably I don't know. I'd say probably like God, what is that emotion? The emotion of ambivalence. Um,
Mm.
like I'm impatient. Like let's get this thing going. You know, um, I don't know. Just but whatever it is, a sadness.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely had that. That's probably been the biggest one, and I think
Mm.
that's probably coming from the ego deaths. But it's helped me a
Mm.
lot, and it's helped me very quickly. It really has. And I would
And
say,
are you able to just sit with it and just in a way, I don't know, hold space for the emotion to
yeah, yeah,
move? Can you do
yeah,
that?
just like it's a kid, like literally like it's
Yeah,
a kid,
yeah, yeah.
and
That's
that's
how I do it
yeah,
with mine.
yeah, like it's a kid, like when I
Mm.
with my kids. That's how
Yeah,
I kind of see it, and I
yeah.
don't really see it as me holding my inner child. I just see it as me holding a part of myself,
Yeah.
and maybe it's a masculine thing. Maybe this is part of the you know the characteristic one of the characteristics of what you see as the masculine energy hits the male, because that is a different
Mm.
path. The male was suppressing emotions and all that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah, definitely.
I'll tell you where I really feel it, and very very quickly, like if you can't deny it. I did the first few times, but when the emotions, like the deeper the merge, the body, the way the body responds.
Mm-hmm.
Like there'll be a certain part of my body, like like right now, like my left shoulder, and
Yeah.
and if something happens, or if I kind of get a little bit of a charge on an emotion, whatever it might be, it'll pop up, it'll intensify, or I can go into it. Now this is new for me. I can
Yeah.
go into it and feel it and kind of follow it somehow without words, and it'll take me to the emotion. So,
Oh wow,
but
that's amazing.
yeah, but I think people all over the world are doing this by their own methods, their own ways, doing calibrating themselves,
Mm.
aligning their frequencies. What we used to call healing.
Well, I've had that before with my left shoulder, and a good friend of mine had it with her left shoulder.
Mm.
So is it that people, I don't know, some people say your left side is the masculine and the right feminine. Is that right? I don't know.
Left's feminine, right's masculine.
Oh, it's that way around. Okay.
Yeah,
Mm.
I think what it is the left brain is masculine, right
The
side of the
opposite.
body, and yeah, but yeah,
Mm.
yeah, and I've had a lot of action on my masculine side in the past
Yeah.
7 days. Yeah, freaky stuff too. Freaky
God.
stuff. There's a lot of
I'm
energy moving.
There is, and what I'm also seeing, um, is a lot of the much younger generation now are no longer. I mean, there's the whole kind of the you know they're not identifying with a gender. Like some people will say, oh, it's an agenda that they are making these people do this.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm meeting really, really, really beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
beautiful innocent souls. And they just don't, they're so balanced.
Yeah, yeah, I see both. It's kind of like I'm awake in the woke movement, you know. So you have a true, natural, organic evolution that's coming into physical form. We know it will
Hmm.
come into physical form. It
Yeah.
would only make sense that the physical will follow the energetics, and as
Mm.
people become balanced, masculine and feminine, that the physical progeny of
Mhm.
the ancestors will produce, you know, what you're talking about. So what you're seeing, to me, when I see what I'm seeing, like with my kids, because my kids go from 20 to 33,
Mhm.
and the younger ones, well, really all of them, I would say, aren't gender conscious.
Wow.
Certainly not as gender conscious as my generation, or even the one that came behind me, say between them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the young people are going to be very impressive,
Oh,
very
they are.
impressive. You know, if you look at, and I'm not predicting anything, but if you look at revolutions,
Mm-hmm.
you know, around the world in history, the young people are the catalyst,
Mm.
typically, especially in the modern
Mm.
era. You know, if
Yeah.
you look at Tiananmen Square, if you look at the '60s, all over the world, the young people. If you look at the what was it, the spring in Iraq, Iran, the Middle East, they had a few years ago. They had a big, and it was all the young people.
Mm.
But I think this time, because of their frequency, there won't be a force. Plus, combined with all of us, there won't be a force that can stop them, because
No way.
it's an energetic force that has many non-physical properties that are badass, just
They
like
really are.
just like they are and we are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we're seeing it as well with so many of them literally refusing to go to these schooling institutions. They're like,
it's
we're
it's
not doing it.
it's
We're
awesome.
not doing it. Mm.
I have a
Yeah, many
I've
friends.
seen so many women. I've talked to so many women and men,
Yeah,
but primarily, you know, it's women because that's what we're coming out of, that are
yeah,
homeschooling.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I've got
It's
some
huge.
beautiful I got some beautiful friends. I got to give them a shout out. I never do this on these shows. To Donnie and Meg Velos,
Mm.
my homeboy, my homegirl. Best wedding I ever went to. They got married on an airplane strip, and an airplane took off. It was crazy. Yeah, we floated 2 kegs of beer, and we had a great band. It was awesome.
Oh,
There's
wonderful.
about 20 of us. But yeah, she writes. You know, she started gardening, and she puts out some really good posts. You know, both thought provoking posts and also what she does. But she talks about the homeschooling. She shows pictures of
Mm.
taking her kids to the park and just different things, and you really get a feel for it. Like, and you can
Mm.
see, and I know they're 2 kids. You know, I've met them, and you can see, because she's done it like consistently. You can see the change in them energetically. They're like they look
Mm.
like kids when I was a kid.
Right,
When they would just say
right.
get outside and I'll see you when dinner time. You know what I mean?
Great.
They didn't even care where you went. Well, they did care, but
Yeah,
they didn't restrict you. They had that we had that free flow. We were allowed to fall. We were allowed to get in trouble and all that.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Whereas you see the children that are really being, pushed into the schools and like, no, you need to do all this homework, even though it's eating into your playtime, you need to go to these schools. They're actually depressed, they're self-harming, worse,
Yeah,
it's that's
distracting,
yeah.
numbing. But
Mm,
you got to hand it to them. I mean, look at us. We all went through hell, and we all came out of
mm,
it. And
mm-hmm.
these kids are higher frequency. So
Yeah.
it's an evolutionary reality. It's an evolutionary given. The universe doesn't go backwards, and
No.
if anything, it might swing. You know, from one degree or extreme to another, like the way the planets move. When they talk about degree of this, degree of that, What
Hmm.
is it? Retrograde and whatever
Oh
the
yes.
opposite of that is. What's the opposite of retrograde?
Don't know. Gatorade. I've no idea.
Gatorade. Gatorade.
Have you had any more children on the show since Sophia?
Oh, yeah. That's right. You brought us Sophia. I was just looking
Yeah.
at that last night. I have it in my archives because I'm. Anyway,
Yeah.
I don't need to go into all that. But um, yeah, we've had quite a few interesting things. We've had parents come in and talk about their children. We've
Yeah.
had. Have you seen Elsa Dillon?
No.
Okay, I think we've done about 4 or 5 shows, and then
Okay.
she's putting out some excerpts, and I'm going to put them out as well. She has a family of 8 kids, her and her husband,
Wow.
and yeah, and they all speak to their ET aspects,
Oh,
and that's
wow.
just the first part. There's many other parts, and I won't get into it. But I would
Wow.
recommend anyone to watch those shows with Elsa Dillon.
Elsa Dillon.
She
Thank you.
she did one with Mary Rodwell too, which was very
Mm,
interesting. Yeah.
check that out.
But yeah, some other ones as well. I mean, Mary Rodwell was on not too long ago. She talked about some things. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
coming online. How old are the ones that you see every other weekend?
Oh, they are 12 and 10.
Well,
They're just amazing. Really
really?
amazing.
Yeah.
Really old souls. Yeah. Yeah, they're beautiful.
I met this really cool sister Amanda Bloodworth from Blanco, Texas, near my old
Hmm.
neighborhood or my home state. And she's got a 4-year-old, and she lives on a piece of land, and she I don't know what you call it. It's where you work with the land, and it naturally gives you what you need. And she's very high frequency, so it's a really interesting story. But she's got a 4-year-old kid, and the kid is like, "Mom, I go to Rainbow World every night," and then she'll be walking around the place with her, and she'll say, "There's a rainbow cat," and her mom will be
Oh,
like, "I don't see the cat," and her mom's high frequency. But and
the
then there
child
was,
sees this.
huh?
The child sees this.
Yeah, the child sees it, and then I talked to somebody else that was in another country, and their kids were saying the same thing. So yeah,
Oh,
they're
yeah,
building their part of the grid.
they are. Well, when we worked with children last year, we had one little boy. Well, I think he was 11 from Australia. He has X-ray vision.
Really?
I might have mentioned him before. Yeah, he literally can see metallic objects that are buried beneath the earth. So he'll tell his mum there's something there, and they'll dig, and sure enough, there'll be a piece of jewelry or money or. Mm.
Well, hopefully he doesn't come across an underground bunker or what is it?
God.
Deep underground military base.
Yeah, yeah.
So are you in England or are you in um,
Yeah,
okay?
Scotland. Yeah, no, I moved back to England last summer. No, last spring.
And how far are you from, what's the biggest city you're close to?
Close to Bournemouth. I don't know if you'd know. You probably won't know. Brighton. Have you heard of
Brighton.
Brighton?
So what's the temperature there in that little town you're in?
Mm.
If
Oh,
you run into all the cool people, how many cool people do you think there is? No, I'm just kidding.
it's a lot warmer than Scotland, that's for sure.
Really?
Oh God, yeah, yeah, it is. It's lovely. There's a lot going on here. I don't know if you. There's a lot of really interesting souls that are placed around here. I don't know if you know Diana Cooper.
Yes. I know who she
She's
is. Yeah.
yeah, in Wild. Yeah.
I've never had her on the show, but I would like to have her on the show. She's been around a long time, hasn't
She
she?
has. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That would be great to get her on.
I think I get her mixed up with this other lady, but Diane Cooper, I think, does she do the Angels? Is that
Yeah,
her?
she's the angel lady. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I remember there was this other lady, and I can't remember who she was, but I think she did Angels, and then she like reversed. She was real well known, and I want to say her first name was Diane too, and she was real well known. And then one day she went fundamental Christian, like overnight. I don't know if you remember
Oh
that.
yes, I know who you mean.
You remember that?
Doreen Virtue.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that was very strange. Yeah.
So when I think of England, of Great Britain, regardless of what part of it is. It seems to me like, I don't want to say the oldest, but like maybe the last. I don't know, Atlantis, Avalon, Atlantis, but a really strong elemental feeling to it. To me, it does. Like, it feels real elemental, less galactic. Where if you go to Scandinavia, it feels very galactic to me. But do you get a lot of elemental action?
Oh God, yeah, yeah. I've hung out. Well, I hung out with the elementals a lot in Scotland.
Mm.
It is very much that way here. And you're right. I mean, I've been to Sweden and Denmark, and it's I don't know if it's Pleiadian or what, but does feel a lot more like that there.
I think it's Pleiadian.
Whereas here we're very much of the earth.
Yeah. To me, the Scandinavian, very Pleiadian. You know,
Yeah.
it's funny because Morgan got a DNA test, or I think her son did, and so in other words, she could get an idea of what hers was, and she was
Yeah.
shocked to find that there was some Scandinavian. I'm like, I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked at all. You're an ET. You're a Pleiadian. But that's how it went. You know, I mean, we had different. That's why you have Chinese and Japanese, and the different, because there were different.
Different
We had
races.
different aspects of ourselves. Yeah, you think
Yeah.
about it, it works the same all the way down and all the way up.
Oh yeah. The great, you know Graham Hancock. I've just started watching his Netflix show.
Yeah, yeah. I followed
He's
them for
digging.
years. Yeah.
Yeah, I followed him for years. So I'm really surprised to see him on Netflix.
Well, he's killing it. But I every time I see, first of all, I can't buy. I have an aversion to Netflix, and I'm one to understand
Mm.
dark and light. But the guy that created Netflix was the grandson of the guy that created propaganda, originally, like for the Nazis and for
Oh,
Wall Street.
seriously?
Yeah, Edgar. What I forget what is his name? I can't remember his name. But he's like the uncle of Sigmund Freud. There's a whole thing to it.
Okay.
But anytime I see something being put out there, you really have to look at it.
Yeah.
Why is it being put out there? Now I've followed him for years. I think his material is excellent.
Hmm.
He's also, not only is he very well versed in a class almost by himself in what he does in anti-establishment, but he also, if you follow him through the years, he also involves his personal journey to include,
Yeah.
for example, like ayahuasca, marijuana.
Yeah.
He talks about. I remember he said, "I don't have to smoke marijuana anymore." This was a few years ago. He went on an ayahuasca trip. Mother ayahuasca said, "You don't need any more ayahuasca. You're at another frequency." So he's a really interesting guy. But my question
Mm.
is, why are they putting him out there? Is it
Mm.
is it soft disclosure? Is it There's got to be a purpose. Unless
Yeah.
the matrix is just crumbling and the cream is rising to the top.
Well, see, this is what I wonder because it's all kind of done now. So it's very easy to look at it and pick it apart and try and look for the flaws in it or the density in it. But what if it is actually we are in that space now where or this stuff is going mainstream?
Well, you know what?
Have
That's
you
entirely
noticed?
possible. It's entirely possible. I mean, really, if you think about it, if we energetically submit less each day, and I hate to put it that way, but as long as we're carrying driver's license and passports and
Mm.
tax, all that, then we have a foot in there. But
Mm.
I think it's the personal liberation or sovereignty or freedom or whatever you want to call it comes from each moment that we live, and we break it down that way. So,
Hmm.
and I think you see a lot of people talking about that. You said you get on Facebook a lot and see what's going on with people, and I guess I talk to them more than read it. But people have liberated themselves from not necessarily from people. You heard a lot about that. Hey, if you don't, people breaking up and all that kind of stuff, right? Severing connections and all that over
Yeah.
this course of all this. But really, what they're doing is they're liberating themselves from a program, a role, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It has nothing to do with anybody else.
No.
But if we do that, I mean, I think these things will take care of itself. We're just not going to take this BS anymore.
Well, that's true, and I believe that if we choose to see the darkness in everything, this is what we will see.
Hmm.
And I've been there. I have been there, and I have had it all reflected. I've seen, the darkest of the dark, I believe.
When,
But now, mhm.
go ahead.
Oh, now I just choose to flip this, and
So,
I'm,
so
I'm experimenting with that
I don't know
now.
if everybody knows how high frequency you are, but I mean, you mentioned casually you spend time with the elementals when you were in Scotland.
Yeah.
But what's the last big thing that kind of uh, surprised you or shocked you that's happened? Anything stand out? Like, anything, any big omen or synchronicity or, visitation or weirdness?
Oh God, it's really hard when people ask you the question. Like earlier today, Dan was asking me about my day, and I met this lady who's a wizard, and she like we were just bouncing off each other. Like we were talking about her time spending time with the natives in New Zealand, and them giving her a name, and the time I spent living with the Anangu Pitjantjatjara people, who were the sacred guardians of Uluru, and and all of these, there was just so much energy flying around. And this is just like my day to day life now. And then when I was in Scotland, I met with the Pictish people, and they showed me where they went because, according to science, they disappeared without a trace.
Who are they?
The Pictish, they're the native, I believe somebody will, I'm sure, to correct me, but they came before the Celts,
Okay.
or around the
Are
same time as the
so you
Celts.
met with them? Are they like real people? Oh
But
wow.
it was interdimensional. It wasn't, so you can't walk around the streets and see. Well, you may,
Yeah, I know. That's what
if
I
you knew
mean.
what you're looking for.
So what did they
Yeah.
tell you? What did they tell you?
Inner Earth.
Oh really?
Mm.
And
Yeah, they show me where the portals are in Scotland.
Pictish people.
Mm.
Pictish people.
Yeah,
Wow, that's fascinating.
yeah. They was telling me they had to remain hidden. So they were a people that were very much like us. Very very connected to the stars, the earth, the
Hmm.
elements, everything, and knew how to work with the energies of the earth to heal or to do whatever you want to do. And then God knows, I don't really read history books so much because I don't
But you don't have to. You get your information interdimensionally,
exactly.
and otherwise.
Yeah.
But
So it was attempted to take them out for whatever reason.
I wonder
So
what.
they
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up. Pictish.
mm, Pictish.
Pictish.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder though how many cultures, species, whatever, are in the inner Earth. There's got to be shitloads.
Well, there
There
was
got to be pockets everywhere.
yeah. You've interviewed somebody called, is it Lavelle Zimmerman?
Yeah, yeah. He's my buddy.
He's your buddy. I've just come across him. I really like what he's putting out there.
Oh,
What they're
he's
putting
he's
out
been since I mean I've yeah I mean I go back with him like 2013.
there. Okay.
He's
Right.
amazing, and he's an amazing artist.
Yeah.
Amazing artist.
Yeah, well, he was talking about Inner Earth just the other day, talking about that there are dinosaurs there. Now, I have memories of walking with dinosaurs, so there's all sorts
Yeah.
yet to be revealed or shown.
Well, yeah, and that whole thing, with Antarctica, the size of
Hmm.
that landmass, which is
Hmm.
not even gigantic. It's beyond gigantic. It's beyond anything out there. And then
Yeah.
that, and I've seen enough accounts to know there is a wall. There's a wall there. I even
Mm.
saw something the other day which looked pretty credible, but I don't really pay that much attention to it. I just happened to come across it, which is where they were taking samples of the wall, and they had the footage, and they were testing it. There was two types of water. One was normal, and the other
Yeah.
one was more like, I think it was more like a plasma or something. It didn't
Oh.
it didn't have the properties. It didn't. I believe it didn't melt to water, something like that. But anyway,
So you said there's a
point
wall
being,
around.
huh?
There's a wall around it, or
Well, yeah, yeah.
okay.
That's not something that's hidden. I mean, that's
Mm.
well known. I mean, why
Oh,
else
so,
would you have a treaty with 57 countries, and
yeah.
nobody can mine it or whatever the case is, but basically nobody knows what goes on down there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Are you familiar with what was his name? Admiral
yeah,
Byrd?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So
yeah.
his story is
Yeah,
interesting.
1946. We won the
Yeah.
war. Go down there with an armada, and they get their ass kicked, and his buddy jumps out of a yeah. I mean, again, these are interesting, salacious stories, but yeah,
Hmm.
and I do find it because I love history, but man,
Mm.
I'm ready to get it on in the present.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
I'm ready to do some things that are, just well, just not that we've never done, really never done, like anything and everything. We can do this.
Mm. Yeah, you have no fear to leap.
Why? I mean, why would there be? I mean, you could die, but I'm a soul, so I'll get another body, or I'm full of crap and I just won't even know I died.
Yeah.
I'll just be dead.
Amazing. Did you say you got a message or a friend request from Franco recently?
Yeah, that was weird. No, this
Yeah,
was
what happened there?
no. Okay? What happened was I did a show with a lady. I think it was with a lady, and we were talking about Franco.
Hmm.
And right after the show, she got she got a friend request from Franco. Yeah, that
Oh
was
my God.
earlier this year.
God.
Hilarious.
And there's no one else running his account?
I think Kimberly has it. I haven't talked to her in a while. I messaged with her actually yesterday.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, she did a really nice. I posted it on my page. She did a really nice memorial. I think it
Hmm.
would have been in October.
Yeah.
1 year. It was really nice. In fact, it was. I couldn't even watch it all. I just started like.
Purging.
But he pops in now and then. He
Hmm.
pops in when I got my free ride to Texas. He popped in the other day. Um,
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what was happening, but uh, oh, I know what it was. A friend of mine, some friends of mine from Montana came in. A girl
Um,
named Angela Dwell and her husband Johnny. They've been on before. She comes on by herself. They've been on together once, and they're very cool. So they came to Sedona, and they called me up and said, "Let us buy you dinner." And I'm like, "Great, I'm hungry." So I went down to the Mexican restaurant, and we're in the Mexican restaurant, and I'm looking at Franco right next to me, and he's laughing. And
yeah.
she goes, "Hey, Franco's over in the corner." So yeah, he's around.
Yeah.
He's
I
around.
had that with my granddad once after he left. He was literally walking on the opposite side of the road, just looking at me, smiling. And then you kind of do a double take and then
Hmm.
just disappeared. No trace anywhere.
What I'm finding is that even though my eyes are doing weird things in my vision, the
Hmm.
things that are doing that, the things that are like there for a minute, um,
Yeah.
they're not on the peripheral anymore.
No.
They're getting like in my line of vision.
Mm. It makes you wonder if everything you're seeing, everyone else can see.
I don't know. Um, I was my friend. I have a friend here, Ashley Lee, and she's very
Mm.
high frequency, like ET, you
Mm.
know, and she allowed me to go stay over. She has a condo here, and she allowed me to go stay over in her extra bedroom and take a shower and whatever. And so we were sitting at the dining room table just talking. I think we were eating, and this coyote just walked in, interdimensional, just walks in and with really, really blue eyes and just lays its head on my lap. And I said, "There's a coyote right there." And she said, "I know. What's it say?" So I think it depends on your company.
Yes. Yeah. That's for sure. When you're around certain people, you're definitely it's almost like you could, yeah, you can fly higher.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Mm.
Yeah, her place is like a super portal. That whole area, it's called Jack's Canyon. I see Kimberly Brighton there. I had to cancel because I got sick those 3 days, but she's going to come on. She lives out that way. But that
Hmm.
whole area, for me personally and other people I know of, I mean, it's a very powerful area. That canyon's a home to me. There's many, many things that's happened to me there in the last 3 years. Really
Yeah.
profound experiences,
Mm.
uh, amazing experiences.
There
So,
are there are a lot of power spots on Earth, aren't there, that are like that. Scotland was that for me.
oh, I'm sure Scotland and
Completely. Oh, I
Ireland
can't
and
wait for you to get there. You haven't been to Scotland yet, have you?
mm-mm, no, no.
Oh
I
my
still got
God.
some work to do to get out of this country.
Uh-huh.
Most people want to come in. I want to get out. So I'm going to do it one way or the other. I'll get in touch with you, Kimberly, today. Yeah, I need to reschedule the like 5 shows. Man, I got hammered.
Yeah. Well, when I get my spaceship up and running, I'll come pick you up.
No, I'm getting out. I'm not. I'm getting out. Well, I'm.
Yeah.
But nothing forced. Nothing. Right now to me everything is kind of like ginger steps, baby steps. But I
Mm.
can feel the rising. I can feel
Yeah.
it. For me, it feels like next month, but not like warp speed anymore. No more warp speed. I'm not doing the warp speed anymore. I had enough warp speed this year. Yeah, what a ride.
Yeah. No, you're doing amazing. You really are. I don't know how. I always say this. I don't know how you do it, but yeah,
Well,
you're definitely being taken care of.
I think we all are, really.
Mm.
I mean, I wouldn't change places.
Right?
I
Yeah.
wouldn't.
When you really sit down and think about
It's
it.
kind of like we've
Mm.
come this far. Why the hell do you want to go now? you know.
Exactly. Why quit now?
But I don't know. I just think we're redefining so many things
Mm.
with the experience that we've had right up to this summary life. Um, Things such as what is courage?
Hmm.
How big are your ovaries? How big are your balls? You know, are you
Yeah.
are you able to? Because it really is. I mean, I was exchanging messages with my friend Hung Nguyen,
Hmm.
our friend. She's wild. She's crazy,
Hmm. She's
and
amazing.
very, very high frequency.
Yeah.
And I was telling her what I was getting through this purging, and she pretty much said one of the things she got was very similar, the same. She put it, she's getting that we're to step through our fears, and the universe will meet us there. But like really
Yeah.
intensely, like when I was sick, she saw my post and she said she was feeling it too. I don't want to go any deeper because it's
Yeah.
I didn't
It's her
have,
thing.
but
Have you had palpitations, the heart palpitations?
sometimes when I tend to get them is when it all comes. So like
Hmm.
it's that it's when like I can't explain it, but like it runs through my whole body. I feel like I'm getting like something like my whole body is about to come out of my skin, I guess. Something like that. I can feel my
Yeah.
light body and it's very weird. You feel like you're floating. I mean, and then what'll happen is I might get some dizziness and then all of a sudden I get this feeling and it starts going and then
Yeah.
it just kind of slows down and then it feels like I don't know how to say it, but like there's a void, and I feel like
Ah,
in that moment I feel like I'm gonna die. Just
well,
for
yeah.
you're convinced. I mean, I'm convinced for like maybe 3, 5, 6 seconds,
That's my convinced.
but you
I've had
actually
that a couple of times now. Yeah, and you think, okay, so this is it, and
mm,
it's definitely, it's like I think a few people say just breathe through it.
yeah.
It's not, you're not dying, but it does feel like that.
I
Do you have the sounds that like I have like a Morse code in my
oh you
right
do?
ear.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know what that is yet.
I've been getting a lot of well that 3 day period I had everything. What I didn't have now
Mm.
that you brought that other thing up, uh, I didn't have I'm gonna die. I might have
Mhm.
said I'm gonna die, or I feel like I'm gonna die, but I didn't have that. Like, but I was man. I was curled up in a ball.
Mm.
I was sweating, chills constantly.
Mm.
I
Mm.
wasn't sweating. I was feverish, and scratchy throat, ears going off, like to the point where it was almost like painful.
Yeah.
And I knew I was getting downloaded, but I tried to sleep, and when I went into sleep or delta, then I would start lucid dreaming. I had this badass dream with my father. My father's 86, and I hadn't seen him much in the last few years, but I saw him a couple of years ago. Morgan and I went down there. We had a pretty good time, and yeah, it was really cool. He was,
Jeez.
huh?
No, carry on. Sorry.
No, but it was real.
Yeah.
It was real. It was real, and we had a great time. It was awesome. And I'm like, wow, that's legit. I mean,
That's really nice.
yeah, it was really
Yeah.
cool.
The
But
dreams are getting more lucid. Like every morning, Dan asks me about my dreams because that's basically his Netflix because they're so bizarre.
well, that's how it works.
Yeah.
The feminine pulls in the info.
Oh, God, yeah. I hang out with Thoth all the time.
What's that like?
I don't know. He just keeps dropping in, but doesn't give me anything as yet. Have you had that?
I've only had. I can't really ever say. I know I have a couple times. I remember one time I was in a pyramid, and this was like 2, 3 years ago. I'd
Yeah.
say right before COVID. It was in a pyramid, and it was Thoth, and I think it was. I don't know who the other one was, but I don't think it was Egyptian, and they were smelting gold,
Oh,
and there was some kind of activation for abundance. I think it was in 2019.
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
This wizard lady told me today that gold apparently is from one place in the universe. I don't know if this is true, but she was telling me gold and silver were created or formed at the same time from this one place in the universe from a supernova.
Really?
Have you ever heard that? I've never heard that before.
No, no. But I'd like to get the two of you on this show. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, well, when I've met for a coffee, maybe we'll both come on.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be cool. Well, I remember when I first woke up, and well, when like the studio part of it started in
Yeah.
2014, and and I remember doing a piece. I still have it out there, and it's like I respect everybody's reality. And you know how we get downloads and we write things, and time goes by, and it just has a greater meaning. But now doing the show, because we'll have 4,000 shows by the end of the year. We didn't do as
Wow.
many this year. I think we had like 3,600 at the first of this year. We usually do about 700, but it's gonna be like 450 or something. But what the hell was I saying?
Respecting everyone's reality.
Oh yeah, I had written this. Yeah, I had written this thing, and it was about everyone channels, download, da 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 da, medium, psychic, um, and everyone has their own experience. But I respect their reality, and I meant it at the time. It was just a
Yeah.
channel. It wasn't me. Todd wasn't. It was just a channel.
Yeah.
But now I look at it, and I love listening to people.
Hmm.
Because when you can tell when when somebody's aligned with their human, because they're telling a story and they're not trying to sell you anything, they're not trying to teach you anything, they're basically conveying their feelings and their journey, and they're being understood because they've dropped all the, you know what I mean? There's something about
Yeah.
that. And so I don't care if somebody tells me. I have people tell me all kinds of stuff.
Oh, I
I,
can, well, I mean,
I bet I
4,000 shows.
I bet I've
Wow.
had 50 people tell me that they were and it's not making fun of anyone, because I'll be honest with you, I was told the same thing. Uh,
Hmm.
they were the child of Jesus.
Okay, yeah.
And I believe every one of them. I believe every single one of them.
Hmm.
All in the same timeline. I don't know how it
Yeah.
works. We'll figure that shit out later.
But that really is your gift, this gift you've been given is the ability to just really receive everyone where they are. I mean, you talk to some people that I'm just like, I have not got a clue what they're saying because it's so high level. And so I don't know how you keep up.
Yeah, those. Well, you're talking about the ETs.
Yeah.
Well, I find them. And I'm married to one. I find them,
Yeah.
and because I remember when I first met her, she was really like, like when we would do shows, I would go in and extrapolate, and then it, you know, wasn't it was more fluid after that because we had more continuity. But like other ones, like so many really, I could name them, but no sense in doing that. But the thing is, I do get it. Like Adam Marquez is a good example.
Yes. I find him
Ashley
fascinating.
Lee's a good example. They
Yeah.
tend to go really fast. They
Yeah.
tend to, and they tend to carry a very high frequency, highly informational, but
Mm.
very quick, no
Yeah.
nonsense, boop 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 boop.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I find it kind of like I don't know how to explain it, but like to be able to pull it out and say, and I'm really saying it for myself. So
Hmm.
you're saying this, you know, I don't know. It's kind of
Yeah. Well, Adam, bless him, reached out to me after our first show together
who did?
and shared Adam.
Oh yeah,
Mm. And shared some information with me about my soul, and it was fascinating, really fascinating.
he's
But
plugged
I
in.
don't
He's plugged into something.
understand.
I know a guy
Yeah.
over here like that.
Uh huh.
The one that was the wizard, the cartoon that came
Oh
on.
yeah.
Man, that
Yeah.
dude. That dude's like,
Oh, I love
ad,
that
ad
show.
huh?
I love that show.
That dude's like, and he's just as down to earth as anyone you ever meet.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right, I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna try to take a
yeah.
nap. It's good seeing you, and
Good. Good seeing you as well, as always.
show your new friend a little bit of this show, and let's get her on. And
Yeah,
you
we'll
know,
get her on because
and that,
she's connected to I know she's wanting to make books and movies and all
mm.
sorts, but in our world, so it's interesting.
Well, and the point of me saying about respecting reality, the value of it all is hearing somebody's story. You
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah,
think, but it has code. It
yeah,
has
it
code.
does.
It's not always
Hmm.
in the telling of the story, although the storytelling, I think, is, well, that's as ancient as
It really is.
language on the earth, isn't it?
Yeah, it
All right.
is.
You take care.
Lovely to see you, Todd.
All
Mwah.
right.
Huge love.
All
Bye.
right. All blessings. Thank you so much.